Welcome to Down in Front. I'm Andy Neitzer. Joel Shuttlesworth is over there. We're reviewing movies today.
We just love it.
I'm so excited. I licked my hand.
Oh.
I guess there was a hair on it. So this week we're reviewing Wolfman. Joel and I are reviewing Wolfman for Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
Yeah, to you too. Wait, were you talking to me?
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, thanks.
You doing anything tonight special?
Yeah.
By yourself?
Wolfman.
Wolfman was a throwback to the classic Universal monster films, sort of. Yeah, it was. They admitted so. They wanted to bring back the genre.
Yeah, it's a good attempt.
Yeah. Anyway,
Wow.
Benicio del Toro is the Wolfman this time, and I gotta be honest, I really enjoyed it. I had a good time, and I think I went into it expecting, kind of a homage to the original monster film, and I think they did a pretty good. They didn't do an injustice to it, but I don't think there was anything,
I am glad that it didn't turn into The Mummy, but I don't think that it was a good Wolfman movie. I mean, I really think that they had the best intentions with this thing. Go in there and try to make the Wolfman scary again and try to bring that whole thing back, but I think they tried to put too much into it. Like if they would have focused on a couple of aspects that make the Wolfman character great and just held on to that, then it would have been great. Bring it back to that. But instead they want to put in this kind of almost love story with the brother's wife. They want to bring in Anthony Hopkins, and I'm sorry, but Anthony Hopkins had no place in this movie.
I think they could have done better. I don't think it was terrible.
Well, in the original, the dad was like kind of like he just kind of thinks that Larry is a joke. He comes back and he's just kind of there, and Dad doesn't really appreciate him. This one, he's playing the same character he was in Zorro. He's like the original guy. He's like, let me teach you some life lessons. No, I mean, what is this old dude gonna know about the Wolfman?
I kept wanting him to smoke a cigar and whip a candle out.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. If he just whipped the
I was
Wolfman.
expecting that scene, and that was it. He even had a little bat cave type thing where he, secluded himself to.
Right, and it's just, I don't know. I really liked the original, and I liked the idea of Larry Talbot not really knowing if he was, like, he really thought he was doing the Wolfman thing, like changing into it. But as a viewer, you're not really sure. He could just be bug nuts, But this one, they tried to play that off. It really, I mean, I walked out for like 2 minutes, came back, and I missed the entire he's crazy aspect of the movie.
You missed the whole montage.
Yeah, there's a montage that says, oh, he might be crazy. And I was like, well, that's the whole point of the other one, Now, they did do some really awesome special effects makeup, and the kills were really cool. And I felt, I don't know, it seemed like it was just packed with too much, and nothing really had focus on it.
Yeah, well, I think they concentrated on they didn't. I don't think they concentrated on the side story in the production aspect. I don't think they said, okay, well, let's really work on getting this story to be good. But at the same time,
I mean, we're going all film school on a monster movie.
No, well, in its total defense, I got incredibly bored, and this is kind of what I did. I kind of went, oh, God, I'm falling asleep, and then suddenly he kills 50 people. I'm like, yeah! I got really excited because the kills are incredible, and he just full-on massacres people. And not that I condone that or whatever, but it was really, really
I
cool.
condone Wolfman killing people.
It's brave for a film to just full-on kill people without malice, and it was really... really enjoyable to watch.
Right,
but everything in between was really
I really think that they should have stuck completely with dude in suit. The makeup that they did on Benicio, and if you watch, I've been following this thing for a while because I've been really wanting this to be good. If you saw the pictures of Benicio before he did any of the Wolfman makeup, he looked like he could just do that. Like he could just change his face and be scary like that. They really nailed the makeup effects for the actual Wolfman. And he looks like, he's the closest thing to a werewolf that I can really get into. He's not, the underworld werecats, and he's not. I mean, when I think of a werewolf, I think of like dog soldiers with the giant, really wolfy looking things. But Wolfman's a completely different thing. Wolfman has to look like that. You have to be able to look in his face and see the person back there. They really nailed that. But then every once in a while, he just switches into CG Wolfman. And that just took me completely out of it, because he'll be running along, dude in suit, and then all of a sudden, he like passes a tree and he turns into a video game character. I like that he does the whole leaping and running on all fours, but I don't want to see the CG Wolfman. It's completely it threw me out of the whole thing.
Yeah, but on the same note, if I'm glad they didn't stick to the fully, the old one, it was just guy in suit. This one, it was a kind of a cool combination of the two, I think. I think when we got close to the face, it's CG, sure, but it looks really good. But when
I'm not talking about the transformation. I'm just talking about him running around. The transformation stuff I still thought was really good.
Yeah.
But him running around, I know they were trying to make him all vicious and crazy awesome. And that's cool, but you can do that with a guy in a suit. I mean, you can just look back at the effects in like The Thing and all that. You can have scary stuff without having to throw in some CG and do all that. I mean, I really like the character of the Wolfman being strong, being agile, but not being a superhero.
Yeah.
And I think that if they would have, I would even say that wire work and things like that would have been better for this. Not like Crouching Tiger through the trees type stuff, but, if they can make him run on all fours by just suspending him a little bit. And how expensive is that? I mean, you're going to spend half the amount tying him up and having him run that way. I would have, if they were making this movie for me, that's what they should have done.
Yeah.
But overall, I was disappointed with the whole thing. But I think I had really high expectations.
I could have had, like, it got to the point in the movie where I'm like, okay, this massacre has just happened. We're not going to have another massacre. I think I even told you. I was like, okay, well, now we can expect.
Yeah, that's it.
There's that catharsis where he, like, realizes what he's done, and he realizes he has to stop it. So and as soon as that last big massacre happens, I'm like, okay, the rest of it's going to be this drama about, how he's going to make it stop. Which is all well and good, but I still want to see killing.
Yeah, what I don't want to see is Wolfman squeeze out a couple of tears. I could not. I mean,
that was so like John. What is it? John Woo, the Hulk.
No, that was Ang Lee.
Ang Lee, that's it.
But yeah, Hulk doesn't cry. Wolfman doesn't cry. If you've got a big, nasty creature killing all kinds of people or doing wanton destruction everywhere, no close up to a tear. He's not going to be all remorseful about what he did. Have him cry when he changes back or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the emotional thing when he, is like, oh my God, I just killed 100 people. And even though it was awesome, I probably shouldn't have done that.
And it was very anticlimactic because of that. It was like, da-da-da-da-da, cry, dead.
Yeah, oh, he's got a heart. No, he doesn't. He's the Wolfman. He's going to eat your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yeah, and I kind of wish it hadn't been an emotional creature. Like, the whole point of the Wolfman is that he's a complete departure from Lawrence Talbot. So it's like, you're going from this, I guess, sensitive guy. I can't take Benicio del Toro seriously as anything but this really stoic, serious character. I can't take him seriously as an emotional, romantic or something like that. Because the whole side story with Emily Blunt, who I think is just god awful in this movie, was so wasted and
She's
just
barely in the movie.
Yeah, it was just pointless. And she wore this wholly depressing wardrobe the whole time. And yeah, her husband, boyfriend, whatever, had just died. But it was just kind of a waste, and it didn't need to be there. And just kill more people, and it probably would have been a much better movie.
I think that, for me, it totally missed the mark. I was bored the whole time. The throwback aspect didn't hit me, and I had just seen Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is a great throwback to the old style
definitely.
of that. And so I guess I was kind of spoiled on the whole thing.
I'm wondering, because it seems like this is the direction they want to go, is with this monster genre. They want to bring them back, and I'm wondering, we've already got The Mummy, and we've already got a billion vampire movies. And I'd also like to point out that this werewolf 100 billion times better than Twilight's werewolf. Just, that's an obvious thing.
They're not werewolves in Twilight, Andy.
They're just wolves. Anyway, but yeah, this was. I'm wondering if they're going to take it to the next step, because are they going to make a Mummy movie? Are they going to make a Dracula movie? Are they going to bring back the whole genre, or are they going to judge based on the success of this one?
If they crapify everything up like they did Wolfman, then I don't care. I'd rather go back and watch Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
Well, maybe they'll learn
100 times.
something from the crapification of this one.
I sure hope so.
All right. So moving on, we're going to bring Sarah Neitzert, my lovely wife, on to review Valentine's Day,
Aw.
which is about a werewolf who massacres.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. All those celebrities just massacred. So we'll be back in a second. So Sarah, we saw Valentine's Day. We got rid of the baby. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. We lent the baby to Grandma and Grandpa for the night, so we could go out and see 2 movies
And sleep.
and sleep, which was awesome
Yes.
for the first time in a month. And so we saw Valentine's Day, which is a smorgasbord of Borg. Is it ended in G or D?
I think it's D.
D. It's a bunch of celebrities doing love stories. It's really stupid. Like if you saw Love Actually, the British did it really well with Love Actually. This parade of celebrities, and everybody's got, they're all connected by one other person, and it's all these stories kind of matched.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, Love Actually was a really, really good movie. Go see Love Actually. Thank you.
I liked Valentine's Day because
But you're a girl, and
I
you're
am.
sappy.
I'm a girl, and it was fluffy and cute and easy to follow, and I didn't have to really think too much. I don't know. I didn't feel like stressed over anything. Like, is he gonna get there in time or anything like that? Which is cool. It was kind of like, let's see who Gary Marshall can get to be in this movie, and then also let's see the locations that I can secure, because I've gotten, it was all these like really big Los Angeles,
Landmarks,
yeah, and it was like that little fender bender was in front of the Walt Disney Concert Hall. Like, did
Yeah.
it need to be in front of the Walt Disney Concert Hall? It just happened to be.
It was
you
all
know.
it was all very visually LA. It was very much like it was almost like Gary Marshall was throwing a party. He's like,
In all of
I know
LA.
all of these people. Let's see if I can get them all to be in the same movie together. And okay. And then he took all the characters and he put them on put them all together and said, okay, you and you are a gay couple. You and you're stuck on a plane, and you're her son. That's what we're gonna do. And it was like he just kind of shuffled the deck and saw what came out. And I've never been really disappointed in Gary Marshall in general. Like, I always thought he did some really funny stuff. But this was just like, it was just like a big game. It was like nobody really cared. All the acting was just really phoned in. It's like,
Well, if you notice also, except for Ashton Kutcher and George Lopez, everybody else was in the film for less than 10 minutes.
yeah, it
A
was
total
all, it
of
was all
under 10
very-
minutes. They could have really filmed their parts in 2 days or something like that. I think that's why there were so many big people. It was like, you're going to be in this movie, and you're going to be one of the stars in this movie, and you only have to be here for 2 days to do it.
Yeah, you only have to sit on an airplane and then a
Yeah,
bedroom,
I
and
mean,
that's all you
Julia
do.
Roberts was on the airplane, and literally she was in, it could not even have been 10 minutes. Maybe
She was in
6.
it less than her niece was in it.
Yeah, they were all, it wasn't very long at all that they were in it. Who else? I can't even think. Queen Latifah was in it for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, Queen Latifah and Bradley Cooper and
But there's
Taylor
so many
Swift
people.
and the werewolf from Twilight, and all these people are in it, and they're all just not very good. It was all obviously one big favor, and that's why I was just really disappointed. And I mentioned Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is the worst actress in anything I've ever seen. She was absolutely
here's the
effing
thing.
terrible.
She played this like kind of stupid
Retard. She played
teenager.
a retard.
But the thing
Oh,
is,
I wanted to hit
that's
her.
what she is already.
She is a
So she
retard.
could have played herself, but she went she was trying to act. So she went one step further with it when she could have she was like, oh my God, like really, when she could have just been herself. And then the character
I
probably
wanted
would
to
have been
put
a
her
lot
in a
better.
wood chipper like the whole movie. Every time she spoke, I'm like, shut up. And it was just absolutely ridiculous. And they kept throwing her in there like she's one big cameo. She's just Taylor Swift. So what?
I didn't even know who she was. Remember we used to go to Walmart and there were these Taylor Swift shirts? And we'd be like, who the hell is Taylor Swift?
Yeah, I
it wasn't
remember
until
that. And then
a few months ago
it
we
wasn't
figured
until
it out.
Kanye that I knew who she was. And yeah, no, she was terrible in this. And her boyfriend, the werewolf from Twilight, was in it. He was terrible too. And Emma Roberts, who got hot, by the way, I don't know how old she is, but she got hot. She was in.
I think she's like 18.
Yeah, she's 18.
I think so. It might be okay. I'm not sure.
18. I'm going with that. Anyway, she was in. I saw her in a movie, Aquamarine, a long time ago. She was really like goofy looking and kind of awkward, but now she's hot, so that was awesome. And what's her name? Shirley MacLaine, I think, is probably the best performance acting wise in it.
And she also is what, 6 minutes,
Yeah,
7 minutes.
she wasn't in
she's
very
in it.
much.
But she is in front of at the Hollywood Forever
Yeah,
Cemetery.
they shot this
They
whole
sh-
scene.
They
and-
showed a film that she had been in when she was younger, and she was in front of it. But they said that she was in the movie. It wasn't like that was like a little thing.
Yeah, as a frame of reference, in Hollywood they do this thing every Saturday night when it's warm called a cemetery screening, where they project a movie on the side of a big white mausoleum, and thousands of people come out and sit in the cemetery and watch this movie.
It's usually an old movie.
Yeah,
in black
it's
and
usually an old
white.
movie. So
fun.
like I did it when I was in LA. I saw a Philadelphia Story, and I sat next to somebody who was in the movie
Who was dead?
who was dead. So I thought that was really, really cool. But anyway, they did this in this movie, and I thought that was the coolest part because I'm like, hey, I've done that. But that was about the only cool part about the whole movie.
Yeah, and
George
yeah.
Lopez was pretty funny too.
Yeah,
liked him.
I would say if there had to be a main character, it would probably be Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, he
We
was
really
kind of
followed
the main
him.
structure, and he was a florist, which is very manly, Ashton.
Yeah, the gay couple was probably the best part because I definitely didn't see that coming.
Yeah, there were
With
some twists, but I mean, all in all, it was just one big, just kind of farce, and I was really unimpressed. And it wasn't funny. There wasn't any. Jennifer Garner was this, Jennifer Garner has started to play the exact same character in every movie. She's always this like,
She always does
whatever.
that giggle
She
thing
she's
that's
always
like
she's always this
weird.
sad, pathetic little hot woman trying to find love. And that's another thing. Damn it. I'm sick of these really, really hot actresses having such trouble finding love.
Jessica Biel.
Like Jessica Biel is having trouble finding a guy. You're Jessica freaking Biel. And When in Rome, what did we see? When in Rome?
Yeah.
What's her name, Joel? When in Rome? What?
Kristen Bell. But she was kind of a
Kristen
freak
Bell?
in that movie.
Kristen Bell has trouble finding a guy.
Oh wait, no, maybe that wasn't that movie that she was a freak.
No, she's an idiot and When in Rome too. But no, Jessica
that's a
Biel,
different movie I'm
Jennifer
thinking
Garner, Julia Roberts, and who else is it? Emma Roberts, Taylor Swift. All these
Well, Julia Roberts didn't need
hot
love,
to
though.
semi-hot women are having trouble finding guys in Los Angeles.
Julia Roberts wasn't trying to find a guy though.
Well, whatever. She was single.
But I definitely didn't believe she was a captain in the Marines or whatever.
She was in the army.
Army. I don't know. I
Anyway,
didn't believe that.
Bradley Cooper was gay. And the big burly football player's gay. I ruined the twist for you.
But if you're a girl and you like that sort of fluffy kind of stuff, then I would say don't just go see it. It's fun. But if you're
Are you ending the
Not a
review?
girl.
I wasn't done talking.
I'm not ending it. I'm just saying that and then
It's
you
my
can keep
stupid
going. Okay,
show.
I'm sorry.
All right. Now I don't have anything else to say. How much time do we have left?
I don't know. I think we took up a lot of time.
What? All right. 1 minute. Talk.
Well, I liked it. I did like it. It's not going to win any awards or anything, and it's
It'll win the
Just
award
fluffy
for
cute.
the worst romantic comedy of the month.
okay.
See, you ruined it, and now nothing can be funny anymore, and you had this.
I'm sorry. I just was saying that I liked it, and if you like that sort of fluffy, cutesy, sort of girly stuff, then you
Yeah, if you like that fluffy, cutesy, girly kind of stuff, go see When in Rome. Or what was that one we
When
saw?
in Rome?
Yeah, go see When
No,
in
When
Rome.
in Rome was bad, even if you like that
And what
sort
was
of
the
thing.
other? What was that? That one we saw that was My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That other one.
My Life in Ruins.
My Life in Ruins. Go see that. That was
one
good.
was actually really good.
That
though.
was a good
That was
romantic
really
comedy.
good.
Go see that. Don't go
You
see.
even really liked that.
I really
one.
liked it,
Yeah.
and so did
That's
Joel.
that's on DVD now. You can
Didn't
rent
Joel
it.
like it?
Yeah, Joel did like
Yeah,
it.
Joel liked it. All right.
You can rent that one now.
Yeah, okay. Go rent that one, and then skip Valentine's Day. I like the horror film Valentine's Day.
I have not seen that.
All right, so that's about it. Now we're going to go to a new segment that we haven't named, so it's just Rob talking about stuff. We're going to introduce Rob Rasmussen, who's going to recap some of the movies that we have skipped the last couple weeks, to include Tooth Fairy and Dear John. So we're going to see how that works out, and if he's not funny, we won't bring him back. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Rob Rasmussen. Welcome back to Down in Front. Here's an unnamed segment where me and my buddy Mark Nanaman here, we go see the movies that Andy and Joel don't particularly want to see. This week we saw two films, if you want to call them that. We saw Dear John and The Tooth Fairy. And we're going to start off talking about Dear John.
So wait a second, Andy and Joel didn't want to see Dear John, but they wanted to see Wolfman and Valentine's Day?
I apparently so, yeah.
Okay.
But what were your feelings on Dear John?
Well, this movie, I don't think it really knows what it wants to be exactly. It starts off as a war film, and then it's some sort of spring break teenage romp, on the beach, and then it's a little bit of a love story. Then we got some kind of, like, autism PSA going on. There's like
the autism thing. It was thrown in there for absolutely no reason.
Right.
Two characters had autism, movie autism at that.
Right. Well, the one actor was actually autistic. Like
I
the
don't
kid.
believe that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Yeah, the movie was pretty much a train wreck.
Yeah. There's a little bit of, like, Pawn Stars thrown in there. There's this whole, like, subplot with pawn shops and coin collecting and all this nonsense.
Yeah, the first bit of the movie is just this very tired pedestrian love story. It's about this special forces guy who comes to South Carolina on leave, and he meets the girl while she's on spring break. They hook up for 2 weeks. They don't even have intercourse during
Right.
his first 2 weeks. He leaves for a year in the Army. Then 9/11 happens.
Right.
He comes back for a day.
Right.
They have intercourse, and then he
Did
signs
I
up
walked
for-
out for a second. Did I miss the part where they got married before they had intercourse in the horse stable? Because as a practicing Catholic, that would offend me a little bit.
Yeah, there was not a scene where they got married, no. It was out of wedlock, and I know how much that upsets you people.
Yeah. Chafing scrotum really disappointed me there.
Channing Tatum.
Oh, okay,
Channing Tatum,
sorry.
Yeah, little difference, really. Channing Tatum cries quite a bit. There's a beautiful scene where he's driving and punching the steering wheel. The movie did a great job of creating the illusion of motion by maintaining the 24 still frames per second frame rate.
Right.
It was an appropriate length for a film. It did take up about an hour and 42 minutes of our time.
Along those lines.
Yeah, so that was a good amount of time. Maybe 12 minutes too long. It's pretty unnecessary storylines they could have gotten rid of.
Right.
What did you think when it went from this boring romantic drama to this really boring medical drama?
Right. That was interesting.
It was
First of
not
all, I like to
interesting.
say that I'm kind of glad that now Bush isn't president anymore. We can have sort of pro-military movies like this movie and The Hurt Locker. But I do feel sorry for Middle Eastern actors because, like, at least during Bush, they got to play sort of complicated, misunderstood people who are just as honorable in their own way, defending their own freedom. We got to see that in movies. But now it's just like, all right, be an idiot and run out on this railing and take a few pot shots at Channing Tatum.
Yeah, there were some pretty terrible background props in this movie when they were in Afghanistan or Iraq or wherever, some generic place where there were brown people with rifles shooting at Channing Tatum. One of the background actors was wearing a very obvious fake beard, and I kind of lost it a little bit and started laughing. But I'm pretty sure the terrorists were played by Mexicans.
Yeah, I think they might have been.
They didn't really seem like they were authentic Middle Eastern folk, Arabs, or I don't know what the proper term is there, but
Right.
they were pretty Mexican looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a really, really boring pedestrian romantic drama, a mind-numbingly boring medical drama, and then like a 10-minute war movie. And then like 6 years roll by in the film in the span of about 10 minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
The Amanda Seidenfeld, or whatever her name is,
She showed a lot of butt cleavage,
Yeah.
I think is the term in this movie.
a lot
which
of bud cleavage.
also, as a practicing Catholic, offended me.
Well, she did not bare her breasts at all. They made sure to cover that up conveniently. Every time you thought you were going to see something, you didn't. There was either like Channing Tatum's arm or door frame in the way, or they just didn't pan down enough to get anything in frame.
Did you see that they gave us like the 5-minute warning?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's
Well, let's keep talking about this for a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm pretty much done talking about it. I think everybody was disappointed in the theater. Nobody really applauded. I heard one older, middle-aged woman just say that it wasn't not nearly as good as the book,
Right.
which, I don't even know what to think of that. But apparently it is based off a book. But And so is our next movie. The Tooth Fairy was based off of a book. I think Tolstoy wrote the original story.
I don't know.
Yeah. Now, The Tooth Fairy. The Tooth Fairy is a movie where The Rock plays an ex-pro hockey player, and he's been demoted down into the minors again. And he calls himself the Tooth Fairy because he knocks people's teeth out
Right.
when he checks them into the
Not
glass.
because he speaks tooth to power or
Yeah.
anything like that.
There's a beautiful scene in the very beginning when The Rock had just busted out somebody's tooth because they had to establish his character as the Tooth Fairy.
This pearly white CGI tooth flies up, into the camera. No blood or anything on it.
Yeah,
of
no
course.
blood, no cavities.
Came
no
out very
food.
clean.
Yeah, no, raw nerve endings or anything. Yeah, so he knocks a guy's tooth out, and then he's skating around, and he's like, I'm here to tell the tooth and nothing but the tooth. And he does a few of these, switching to tooth kind of
A couple puns.
Yeah, a couple puns. He misses out on a really obvious one because as he's skating around, he looks out into the crowd and he says, I pledge allegiance to the tooth. And he missed out, pledge allegiance, tooth the flag would have made a lot more sense there.
Right.
But
Well, I have to say, if you go see this movie, the tooth will set you free, probably within the first 20 minutes, because that's when I got up and walked out. And I'm sure Rob went back to the theater and watched the rest of it after he dropped me off at home. But
no, I didn't. We kind of hung out and played video games after
Right.
that, actually.
do you want to tell a story about trying to get the poster for the movie?
Yeah, after we walked out of this, I was really disappointed in the movie. I knew it was going to be terrible, but it's a bad sign when you sit down in a nearly empty theater. There's only a family sitting in the very back, very malnourished in that way overweight, malnourished way.
Right.
But every trailer that we saw before the Tooth Fairy was it was basically the same movie in these
Right.
4 darn trailers. It was, you're a kid, but you're like a fish out of water.
Right.
But this summer, you're gonna get the girl
Right.
in. Bland movie,
Right.
Saw the trailer for the new Karate Kid movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
and,
interesting.
I think they're actually like going for something decent there because they're showing the struggle of like black folk in China.
Right. It's like all
how-
these Asians are being really racist against them. or
Yeah,
something.
apparently that's real. Like
Yeah.
other people can be racist too. It's
Right,
amazing.
Definitely.
But after we walked out of the movie, walked into the parking lot, and I saw some kid who just very obviously had just got done smoking a doobie behind the movie theater, and he's changing out the movie posters, and he's taking down the Tooth Fairy poster because it was unfortunately the last showing of the film when we saw it. And I approached the kid, and I'm like, hey, what do you guys do with those posters? And he's like, oh, we give them to each other, we get to keep them after the movie's done. And so I was like, well, do you think one of your friends is going to really want the Tooth Fairy poster? Can I take it? And he explained to me that I needed to come back to the theater when the higher-ups were there and talk to his boss and the next person above them, and just explain to them that my dignity would prohibit me from coming back to the theater and talking to multiple supervisors about getting a movie poster for the Tooth Fairy. But what's happened to our country when these
I don't
these
know.
kids making minimum wage?
Right.
They want to lay down the law all the time. Everything is
I'll tell you what's
gosh
happening to our
darn DMV.
country. I think what's happening to our country is the segment's coming to an end. But
Oh.
I do think that this movie is probably a good movie for kids who are going to grow up to watch Talk Soup and Chris Matthews on Hardball. So it's just what I
Very
feel like.
well-rounded kids.
Yeah, exactly. Informed.
Yeah. So basically, if
Wrap it up.
if you enjoy filth, if you'll just
They're going to cut you off.
gobble up anything that's shoved down into your movie trough, you'll love both of these films. That's it.